Welcome back, Good Life Podcast, or welcome back to another Good Life Podcast. I'm here with John, Hanna, and Nyah, our very special guests. Probably we're going to get into some political stuff with them and just kind of dive deep into what's going on around the country. I'm just kidding.
Our youngest guest ever in the history of all 20 shows.
They're a little bit nervous, everybody.
Just a little bit.
It's funny because they both sing in front of like tons of people all the time, but then when it comes to talking on another microphone, they're like in front of nobody. They're like,
Yeah, a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Does it just feel weird?
Yeah, it's definitely weird.
What's the difference between, like for you guys right now, if you have to think about it, like you might be a little bit nervous. What's the difference between having that mic in front of you at church with people and this mic in front of you with nobody in front of you?
I think it's just different. I don't even think it's like about the people. I think it's like the fact that when I'm singing, like I'm singing. I'm singing for Jesus.
Yeah, I agree with her. It's like, I don't know, when you can't, when you're on here, you still like are aware in the back of your mind that people are going to hear you.
I see.
So that's kind of.
Yeah.
And when you're singing, what's your thought process?
I'm just more focused on like worshiping
Yeah.
than like my surroundings.
I see. So when you're singing, you feel like you can kind of go to a place where it's not really going to matter. I mean, it matters if you sing good or not. You don't want to, be off or nothing like that. But it's for a different place. Whereas this, you're like, I might have to listen to myself back and be like, why did I say that? Or why do I sound
Eyes
like
open
that?
or eyes closed when you're worshiping?
Eyes closed.
All the time when you're up there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not all the time. Depends on the song, but.
Have you ever opened them and got nervous? Or do you just do that like just because that's how it is?
No, I think we're just kind of used to it, so you don't get nervous.
So how old are you, young Hannah?
I'm 14.
And I'm 16.
Okay, so when did you start singing in church?
And then both of you talking to the mic a little bit more when you guys are.
Okay.
I think I started singing when I was 12.
Yeah, I think it was the same for me.
Hannah never wanted to be on praise team.
They kind of
Hannah
made
was
me
far
do
from.
it.
And you were on at 12?
I started like trying out, and then I got in.
You didn't make it, huh? The first couple times.
I was like, get out of here, Hannah.
No, I was on, what's it called? I was on like trial for like a year, and then they finally let me in. And yeah.
So your mom's like, you're not there yet, or what? Why were you on trial for a year?
I don't know.
Did you feel like you could sing? Like, was there a point when you were on trial where you're like, Mom, I got it. Like, let me go.
Let me fly.
Kind of. I just liked being there, I guess, because I don't know. I always liked singing, so it was just cool to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And then when I finally was on the team, I didn't really like singing in front of people. It took getting used to. But after that, everything was fine.
Have you made it to the big show on Sundays?
Yes, sometimes.
Sometimes. And then were you on trial for a year also, Nyah?
I think that I was a part of a junior praise team, so they only put us on the days where there weren't a lot of people.
Kind of like, man, I don't feel like singing. Have the younger ones come sing.
Exactly.
Someone's sick or something.
Exactly. That was us.
So did you both like singing. Did you want to do that eventually? Or is it just kind of like, you can sing, your mom sang, so you just started singing? Or was it something like that you were like actually trying to pursue and do at some point?
Yeah, I think it was definitely something that like I tried to pursue. I think it was different. Like Hannah had a totally different perspective. Like,
Yeah. They both, okay, so my mom started singing, and then Nyah started singing, and then I was just like, oh, I'm next. So they're going to, like, ask me one day, and then the day came.
So do you get your singing talent from your mother or from your father?
Yeah, can your dad sing at all? Does he try to sing?
He tries to sing, but he can't sing. But
So he's
definitely
not
from my mom.
talented. Is that what you're saying?
musically.
Oh.
He's
Not
talented in many
musically.
other ways.
Oh, okay. I was just kind of wondering about that. And so does your younger sister sing?
Lily?
does.
Yes, she does. She does.
Mm-hmm.
I think she definitely would love to be up there.
Does she got that muscle in her?
I think so. Well,
Do you feel
Yeah.
like she's probably gonna end up being the best because she's gonna like get it from you guys and kind of see like certain things, or do you feel like it's like one of those things that she might partially have your dad, partially have your mom, or you don't know
Yeah,
yet?
I think it's partially.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think it'll help her that she has me and you to help her when she is having trouble with a song or like hitting a note.
Watch her be on tour in like 10 years. She
Oh my
remembers this. She's like,
Are you sure that she's not Beyonce and then you guys are the other?
what are
Backup
the
singers? I don't
names? Exactly
know.
right. Like we don't remember their names.
We don't know.
How
We
about
don't
young
know.
Judah? Does he sing?
Judah can
He
sing.
does.
Can he really?
Judah
Yeah.
can sing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he can sing.
I can't see that guy.
He doesn't
Judah
like
would be
to
able to
sing in front
sing.
of people, but he could do it.
Yeah.
He's a tenor.
No, he's probably a soprano.
No, he's all of them.
That guy would be able to sing.
So he's a farmer and a singer.
Exactly. He's multi-talented.
So, okay. What was the first time you guys sang in front of anybody? Was it just like at like a church? Because your guys' church, like, it sometimes has heck of people. So, like, was the first time you guys sang in front of anybody at church, or was it somewhere a little bit small? Like, because you guys sing with family, like when you come to your grandparents all the time, right? But in front of people outside of your family, was it at church?
I think for me it was like when I was 5 years old, they had this service where they had all the kids sing. And so I had a solo when I was 5 years old, and I think that was
Did
the first
you
time.
deserve that solo, or is it because your mother was the head of the praise
She's a
team?
choir director.
I don't know, but
It's called nepotism, and so. But go ahead. What about you, Naya?
Yeah, I think it definitely was at church. The only other time I've sang outside of church and outside of family was at school. So that was a totally different experience.
Oh yeah, how was that? You sang the national anthem a couple times.
Yeah, I sang the national anthem, and then they asked me to do a Christmas thing. And that time I actually got to sing like a Christian song. So it was definitely really special. But I don't think I felt any different besides like the audience that I was speaking to. But I really enjoyed it.
Does it feel different singing like a song where it's like if you're at church and you're like worshiping, you're going to feel some type of way many times, right? But if even if you're singing a song that might be Christian somewhere that's not in church, did it feel like kind of different, like you weren't able to get in that mode? Like you'll probably still be able to sing just as good, but does it feel kind of weird during certain parts of it?
Yeah, definitely. I was trying not to look at people because I was like, I'm just going to get nervous. But at one point, like, I guess someone took a video, and in the background, someone was like, "Why is she moving her hand like that?" And it was because I'm so used to like putting
Trying
my
to get in
hand.
that spirit, huh?
Exactly. No, but I think it was. I mean, I would sing the same way I was if I was singing for God, but it was different.
And
It was
then the
definitely
national
different.
anthem, that kind of. How old were you? A freshman or a sophomore?
I was a freshman, yeah.
And there's a few thousand people there, and it was at a football game.
I remember seeing that. I saw it on Aunt Kathy's.
She went off a little
Facebook.
bit. A little bit went off.
I
but
did.
whatever.
I was nervous.
It's a
I was
hard
very
song, though. Let's be
nervous.
real. The national anthem is kind of a hard song if you don't get in the right key. You kind of got to find the recording that's like really it. And it could go from like, you're going to sing it like a little bit. You're going to sing it good, but it's not good enough to where you can stretch yourself out.
Exactly.
Or it's going to be like way too much and you're like, ah.
She tried to Whitney Houston it, and it didn't work on that one. When you sang at, was it lunchtime or no? Inside the auditorium. What was that?
Oh,
Assembly?
the gym?
Was it an assembly?
A rally?
Yeah,
Rally?
that was the Christmas rally.
So that's pretty odd, letting someone sing a Christian song, and you go to a public school, not a Christian school. So that's really odd nowadays. It's unheard of, to be honest. So how did that come along?
I remember they asked me to sing because they'd asked me like freshman year, and so they said, "Oh, we would love if you could pick a song." I don't think I even told them that it was a Christian song. But when people would ask like after, "What was that song?" I'd be like, "Oh, it's actually a Christian song." But I remember the director that asked me to sing, she said, "I was listening to it in my car and I started crying." And I think like that just speaks volumes by itself. Because it just like without me even singing it, that song had so much power behind it. But yeah, it was a very, very cool experience.
So like so to transition from that, because like it is kind of odd, like maybe that was a few years back, so it was like probably
Last
the tipping point. Was it last year? Oh, never mind then. Okay, so yeah, that is kind of odd to do that in public school. But okay, so do you guys have friends? Obviously you do, that are like have different beliefs than you guys, or you don't know because you guys don't get into that?
No,
Yeah.
definitely.
Does it come up because like it's just what you guys talk about, or do they ask you? Do you ask them? Is it just different all the time?
I think everybody's kind of had that God talk with their friends.
Yeah.
Like it just comes up somehow. But I think before I was definitely like kind of like hidden about my beliefs. Like obviously I wore, I dressed differently than other people. But
Are you saying hidden or just not outspoken?
yeah, just not outspoken about it.
Okay.
Like let's say that God conversation did come
So
up.
are you still trying to hide your
No,
Christianity?
I said in the past.
Okay. Just wondering.
Oh my gosh. No, but yeah, no, I definitely am like so open to those kinds of conversations because I like to hear, different sides to it.
Yeah.
And then I'm able to share what I believe.
How about you, Hannah? Is it hard to hide that you're a Christian nowadays?
Not really.
Oh, it's easy to hide?
No, I mean, I don't hide it.
Okay.
Because, people, sooner or later, I already know someone's going to ask me about my skirt eventually. Mm-hmm. So then that kind of starts the conversation because then I tell them about my beliefs. And then they kind of say, a lot of people will tell me like, oh, I kind of believe that too, but I don't wear what you wear and stuff like that.
It's different for you though, right? Because you grew up with these kids probably since preschool to kindergarten.
Yeah.
Where in high school, it's different. Junior highs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going to the high school, so it
Or
might be a little bit.
Are you in middle school?
I'm going to high school.
You're in middle school.
Okay.
You're not in high school. She hasn't stepped on.
Okay.
That's on high school grounds.
Yeah. So yeah, she's like, no, I'm in high school now.
I'm going to high school. But, what do you mean? Like,
You have. So how deep do those conversations get with your friends? Like you're probably obviously you guys aren't at school trying to like evangelize,
No, she
right?
is, huh?
No, but like do you like sit around at lunch or like when you guys are hanging out? I don't know, during like between classes or something, like where you get those kinds of types of conversations come up, or is it like?
kind of. If they're having a problem, they kind of, like if they came to me with a problem, like I've shared what I know with them before, and it depends on what it is, but like there's times when we'll be like in tears and like I'll tell them about it and I don't know, it just gets really emotional. Like last year, I think. Yeah, last year in 7th grade, my friend, she was going through a lot, so she came to me and then I started telling her about like what I believe. And she was very, very like, I don't know, she was just
Open?
she was like in a vulnerable place. And after that, she would ask me more and more about it. So she's kind of, I don't know, she has a different viewpoint now than what she did before that. And yeah.
So you laying hands on her at lunch area? Or?
Yes, I was speaking in tongues and everything.
The girl felt back, huh? She's like,
Someone catch her. What about, so have you, Nyah, taken anyone from your school to church?
I have. And it's honestly a lot simpler than what I thought it would be. And I think it's honestly because some people are honestly just looking for comfort. They're looking, there's a void that they can't
especially
fill.
in high school.
Especially in high school. People come from a bunch of different backgrounds. And so, it wouldn't happen like every time I asked somebody, but even if it was just like that one person that I could take, then it was great.
Do you think you've missed the opportunity?
Definitely.
Like, let me hear a story about you missing an opportunity.
Oh my gosh.
What's the biggest one that stands out? Do you have any that stand out?
Oh, I have a Muslim friend. Her name is Amal. Wait, am I allowed to mention that?
She probably not gonna watch this.
I
Anyway.
know. And at one point I just said, hey, like, tell me about what you believe in. And basically, like, we ended the conversation with her telling me about it, and then I told her about my God. But I think I definitely, like, because I had a class with her every day, and I could have gone into more depth into what I believe, and I didn't. And I think, like, that could have been such a, because she's come to me before with, like, oh, hey, like I read somewhere like in your Bible about this verse and I really like it. And so I think there's just like opportunities like that, especially to, you know, someone who has such a strong belief in another culture. Yeah, that's probably the biggest one.
Do you guys have friends that like, because high school, like that's when like people, some of those conversations with your friends about like anything in general can get like pretty deep or out there, what, just talking about anything. Do you guys have friends that play like devil's advocate and they'll be like, well, what about this or what about that? And they don't mean it with bad intentions. It's just more like you guys have disagreements on certain things.
Exactly.
Does that happen a lot, or is it kind of like you got a good group of friends where they're not really trying to question anybody in the group?
I think like with my friend group, it's not as like intense where someone's like, well, what about this? What about this?
Yeah,
I think it happens like, let's say if we're like in a group of people and it's, you know, random people sometimes, when they're the ones who are most likely to like question things, kind of like a play on words of what you say.
Ah, I see.
But yeah, there's definitely people like that in every conversation.
Is it hard being a Christian, not just a Christian, but a Christian that is willing to speak about their faith right now in school? Do you think for you, is it hard?
For me, is it hard?
Like, yeah, do you feel any different being like just being a believer at school? Like, is there anything that makes you feel like I'm different than people, or like people that make you try to feel different? Because you guys don't, maybe, I don't know, like we might see that stuff is different now, but maybe they don't know any different. Like this is like school is just school, and it always has been that way for anybody that's their age now, you know?
I think it definitely is different. Like, even at points when I didn't want to like share about my beliefs in the past, it was like it's a part of who I am. Like, it's something that I can't hide. And so I think once I came to accept the fact that, hey, like I follow Jesus, this is what I believe, it was much easier to like talk with people, knowing like I had a firm foundation that I stood on. But
how about peer pressure? Do you feel
pressure? That? Definitely. And it's not like for me personally. It wasn't in like drinking or smoking or nothing like that. It was mostly in like hanging out places or watching certain things. But it's different for everybody. But yeah, I definitely felt that peer pressure in different areas.
What about you, Hannah? Peer pressure?
Yeah, kind of the same thing. Like, it wasn't with like drugs or nothing, but it was more of like, oh, let's all go and hang out here, and I couldn't go.
Because your mom's mean.
No, because
okay.
I don't know. It's just like
you kind of alluded to that right now.
I'm not gonna answer that. No, but it was more like if we wanted to go, I don't know, just.
To just hanging out with everybody and just kind of being the same. So I think you guys are old enough and mature enough to understand like your parents' guidelines and the reason why they keep you away from certain people. Do you appreciate it right now yet, or you don't see that yet?
Yeah, I understand that.
It's kind of like having faith in your parents' beliefs. Huh? Like you're like, I might not like some of it right now, but I know that they love me and they're probably doing it. So you do kind of feel a little bit weird about it sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is normal. It's normal. Like, there's so much stuff my parents did, like, and made me do when I was younger, where I'm like, this is so dumb. This is stupid. But like in the moment, I didn't disagree with them or try to like rebel that much, where I was like, oh, I'm just going to take their word that I'm gonna bet on the fact that they're making the right choice, you know?
Yeah. I think it's like that for us with like skirts. Like at one point I didn't want to wear them because I just felt like it's not really in style. It's like not always in style. And for a girl, that's like really important at one point. So at one point I didn't want to wear skirts, and then I like came to the point where I just accepted that like this is a part of, like, I believe in God and I love him, and this is part of me sacrificing for him, and that's okay with me. So then I had to get to that point, but there was a point where I didn't want to wear them.
So to walk me through that a little bit. So like, and not even with the skirt specifically, let's just say it could be anything.
Yeah.
what do you think right now? Like, how do you go through that for yourself to be like, because I struggle with this all the time. I'm like, how can I give up something for God? And I have to like try to like lie to myself about certain things and be like, no, you're lying to yourself. Like, be honest with yourself. And there's this whole like just argument internally, right? What is that like with you? Not even necessarily with the skirts, just with like anything. There's probably a few different things where you.
Yeah, no dress.
Like besides.
Yeah,
dressing.
besides that.
Okay. Like.
It could be anything, right?
Like sacrificing your time, sacrificing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, what do you tell yourself? Are you just like,
I think it's like when I want to sacrifice something, I have to.
Yeah, because
like when I don't want to do it.
Yeah, like because you said it took you a little while. What was that conversation with yourself like?
It was kind of just like, I don't want to do it, but it's worth it. That's kind of what I had to go through in my mind.
Yeah.
And it took kind of a while because it's just hard. At one point, it's hard.
I think too that you guys sacrifice a lot of time. Well, right now it's a little bit different because of COVID. But what's your schedule like before COVID? Like, what was your Monday like? Tuesday, Wednesday, give me your church schedule, your practice schedule, both of you guys.
Okay. So, like, on Mondays, we would go to practice for praise team. Sometimes on Tuesdays, we did the same thing. It depended on, like, what our plans were for school, but we would go to prayer at, like, 5 a.m. and almost, like, every day.
So your dad makes you go to that?
No. We
do you mean?
want to go.
It's part of the sacrifice.
Yeah.
You want to get up at 5 o'clock?
Yeah. Not really, but, like, I want to pray, so I would get up at 5 o'clock.
Why don't you wake up at 7 and pray?
Because my dad wakes up at 5 and he's my ride.
And he's right. Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay, so Wednesday is what?
Wednesday would be church.
Thursday? That's your day off, isn't
Thursday
it?
was
kind of our
our
day
only
off,
day
yeah.
off.
And then Friday we had practice again, I think.
No, well, I mean, it would have been different for you. Monday we had praise team practice. Tuesday was Spanish, and I would go to Spanish. Wednesday was church. Thursday was the day off. And then Friday, they would have group.
Yes,
Like, our parents would have group, and then I would go to, like, our youth night.
Saturday, anything?
Depended. Like there was, like, a service for Sunday that we needed to help out with.
And then Sunday, it's pretty much, what time are you leaving your house?
Like, we're up by 7 at least.
Yeah, we leave like 8:30, I think.
No, we have to be there at 8:30.
Oh, yeah. So
You have
we
to be
leave
there at
at
8:30. Church starts at 10.
Yes.
So what are you doing there from 8:30 to 10?
We're practicing. Practice.
So your whole life revolves around church and ministry.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel different than other people in the church you're at? Because my dad always talks about being like a pastor's kid and stuff like that. But you guys, your dad speaks and your mom sings, so you guys kind of have like different dimensions.
Yeah,
of
definitely.
being a kid in the church, right? So like, do you feel different than your friends at church?
Yeah.
Who aren't involved in everything.
Yeah, and I don't know why I thought like, oh, like everybody does this. Like everybody's going to church this many days. But it just became part of our routine.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love it. I wouldn't do
Change it or
anything.
nothing,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
And so your mom is, of course, in charge of the music, and your dad's one of the assistant pastors. So you get stuff free.
No,
How about crowding in line? Can you
no,
crowd
not
in line?
even.
What special privileges do you get?
None.
I think that's a big deal too, because I know your mom tries to keep you away from that, because sometimes when you grow up, maybe being your parents are like a pastor or preacher's kids, the kids kind of grow up spoiled sometimes. So
Yeah.
you're saying that you're not being spoiled at the church.
Yeah, definitely not. Far from that.
Nothing.
I don't think so.
No free drinks.
No. We're the ones giving the drinks.
So you're the ones that's serving
You're working it,
and working in the cafe.
Yes, we're the ones in
yeah.
the cafe.
How is it? So your dad takes off to
where
does he go?
Oh yeah.
Thailand, where else? Nepal,
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. How is it when he leaves? How do you guys feel being fatherless for 2 weeks. every other month,
Every
it seems
3
like
months,
3 months.
practically. It's definitely hard. Like I didn't
Yeah.
realize how much we depend on him. Like
Really? Explain that one to me.
I know. Like even on the days that he's not there a bunch, it's just weird when he's actually like gone.
Do you care for him?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we love him.
It's my dad. No, but it's definitely hard because we have to help out a lot more in certain areas. But yeah.
What's your mentality when he's there? Are you nervous? Are you like, just hurry up and come home? Do you get a little antsy because like maybe he's in a dangerous country?
A little bit, especially with the coronavirus. I think he might go back. I don't know, but it makes you kind of nervous. Because,
Well,
like,
just before coronavirus, what
oh
did you
yeah,
feel
before that, it was also like there were times when they would come, they would have an encounter with the police, and that kind of scares you a little bit.
Because your
but-
dad's breaking the law or what?
Yeah, he's crazy.
But I mean, at the same time, I trust that he's protected and that he'll be fine.
He carries a gun or what? Who protects him?
Jesus.
You got those Gurkhas over there. You got those swords, bro.
What about you, Naya? Do you get nervous that he's there, or you think like, no, he's good, God has him, or do you feel a little bit like, I know God has him, but I'm still a little nervous?
I think there is some nervousness, but I think it's almost like at one point I was just like, man, like why does he have to go? Like, and then I thought to myself like, man, that's so selfish of me to say that because like he's obviously ministering to people who need it more than me. But yeah, I think there was always like that little like, oh my gosh, like he's leaving, and like sometimes he'll go by himself too. And so in like a foreign land, and so it's definitely different, but I think we become accustomed
Yeah.
to his process.
And you went to Thailand with him when last year?
Wait, no, 2018.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
How did you like that? Is there a possibility where you're like, I could live here, or no?
I would totally. I honestly would.
I don't think I
Because
could.
of the country you liked, or because you could see yourself as a missionary, or maybe both, or what?
Well, go ahead. You can go
No, it's
first. Okay. I personally really enjoyed the like missionary aspect of it, so I would go just, if that's what I should do. But just to be a missionary if I could. I mean, and the country was really beautiful too. We got to see a lot of cool stuff, but I honestly fell in love with like the orphanages or just like the different places that we went. It was very cool.
And you got baptized in the river over there, right?
You did.
Actually, that was the plan, but I ended up getting baptized in the missionaries' house's pool instead. But yeah, it was a really cool experience, and I wanted to get baptized there because
You
I
wanna
don't
be
know.
different, huh?
no,
He's like, I'm gonna go.
it was last
save
minute.
It. Oh, okay.
It was last minute, but I don't know. It was just like a memorable moment.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know. It's because they were baptizing a lot of people, and it was just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna do this right now. But I would like to go there a lot more, but I wouldn't live there because I don't know.
'Cause
It's
you
just
probably want to be famous in the United States by singing or something. Like
no,
that?
because I think it's just because you either live in poverty or you live like rich.
Like a king and queen,
Yes.
basically.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I don't think I could do that.
So you can't live in poverty, or you can't live rich.
Like I couldn't live in like a good, like safe area, and know that there are people like
Oh,
living
like
in
totally
real
like on
poverty.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be hard. Yeah, it's a good point.
That's true.
I have a question for both of you. You'll answer for Hannah, and Hannah, you answer for Naya. So, between your mom and your dad, Naya and the rest of your siblings, who do you feel like is a little bit closer with your mom or your dad, from your perspective?
From my perspective, I think, Judah, like, adores my dad.
Yeah.
So definitely Judah with my dad. Lily, I think she's a daddy's girl too. He's like, he'll stick up for her with anything. Hannah, I think she's definitely with my mom. Like, they call her Little Deborah anyway. No, but yeah.
And you're Cinderella or what?
I mean, I'm loved by both parents.
Okay, so I think I agree with him. I mean, with her. I agree with her about Judah, only I think he's kind of spoiled by both of our parents.
'Cause he's the baby.
I can see
Yeah.
that. I can see that.
Hmm. And then Lily, I think she is a daddy's girl. I think, I don't know.
Who's
Naya is like, I don't like saying it, but like, yeah, both of our parents love her.
That's how it is. The oldest one seems like it's pretty balanced between
Yeah.
both, and then usually the youngest one ends up getting picked by one or the other.
Yeah.
it is your mom's birthday today.
Yes.
It is?
She's pretty old.
No,
She's not.
She looks like 20. But
This is a Christian show. So, all right. Anyways, what have you learned from her as far as singing, being a mother? What is some traits you have learned, not just learned, but also love about her?
like
Because we all know she carries the household, right?
a little bit.
Okay.
We learned a lot from her growing up. She's always been kind of like she guides us through. She's like our spiritual coach, and she'll like guide us through things, through problems. And she kind of just shows us what a real like godly woman is, an example of a real godly woman.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
What about you, Sister Naya?
What have we learned from her?
What do you really admire about her?
I think her leadership, like, ability. Like, she's very, like, take charge.
In the home or, say, in the church setting? Which
In
one?
the church setting, definitely. I mean, in the home as well. But she's just, like, she wants to get stuff done, and I think that's what I admire about her. Is she's just very strong-willed. Like, she follows through with a lot that she does.
What about something you can't stand? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, my gosh.
Does she get on you? Do you feel like when you guys are singing with everybody, she gets on you guys more than other people? Like, or is it like sometimes when you guys are coming back home from practice, you guys might be in the car and she'll be like trying to be like, hey, try this out, try that out, or what about this?
Or, hey, you were flat.
No,
Yeah,
she'll
exactly.
put you on. She'll put, I don't know why. She says she does it to every other praise team member, but she'll literally call. She's like, you're not singing loud enough, like in front of everybody. And I think it's when that, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm done. Like, I quit. No, but yeah, I mean, everybody eventually gets mad at their mom for something.
Yeah, I think with the singing, for me, like, I would just be minding my business at home, like, humming. And she would be like, you're humming it wrong. You're humming it off key. Or, like, those aren't the right words. We're not at church right now, Mom. But,
Man, that's a mean mom right there. So, along with that, what kind of advice would you give to just maybe some young girls, church girls that are just trying to find their way, maybe not sing, but just in school in general, trying to be true to themselves? What would you say, Naya?
What would I say to them?
Or how did you come to that place where you became true to yourself and you're like, no, I'm good being me. I don't have to be somebody else.
I think it was honestly, like, in relationship with God that I came to that realization.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of my biggest things that I dealt with was like, oh, like, I'm a Christian. I have to always be happy. Like, people need to see that I'm happy. And that honestly, like, wore me out because at the end of the day, I'd be like, oh my, like, you know, it wears you out. And so I think, like you said, like, where they can just come to the place where they're like, hey, like, if you have God inside you, then you already have joy. And that only came by me being in relationship with God, because I think it took away that, you know, fake mentality. But yeah, definitely, like, being in relationship with God in whatever aspect that comes in, whether it be praying, whether it be, I don't know, just in any way seeking God.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Sister Hannah?
like, the advice I would give them would be, like,
If you were just talking to maybe Emma or Mila, what would you tell them?
I would just tell them to not worry about what other people think, because what other people think varies and it's constantly changing, and you'll just kind of lose yourself
That's
if
some deep stuff.
I know. I was like, dang.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm gonna take
Hey,
that.
she just caught the Holy Ghost.
I know.
Right there. Go ahead.
No, but what God says about you kind of always stays the same.
Mm-hmm.
And it will really like guide you and help you stay true to who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just tell them, like, focus on God and try to maintain a relationship, like a strong relationship with him, because it's going to help you as you grow up.
So, are you a preacher?
Maybe.
Basically, I
What about
was
you,
like,
Naya?
dang.
I don't think so. I don't know.
No.
No.
So,
I got a question.
Go
I
ahead,
got a
go
question.
ahead.
Do you guys still get nervous when you sing? I know I asked that off recording, but do you guys get nervous at all when you sing still at church?
Definitely.
You guys do that, like,
Definitely.
if you guys do it consistently, even when you know the people and all this stuff, you guys still get nervous?
the butterflies or what?
Yeah, I think it's just like anticipation, like especially if you have like a solo
Yes.
and you're focusing on like the reaction of other people, then it's kind of like, oh, if I mess up, like what are they gonna do?
I see.
But yeah, I mean, I still get nervous. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like when you're pressured, like if you feel pressured to, oh, I really need to hit that note, then it's like those kind of things I get nervous about.
Yeah.
But other than that, not really.
It's not the people or the amount of people out there. It's more like you maybe hitting the right note.
Pressure on
Yeah.
yourself type of thing.
Yeah.
Want to be, I don't want to say perfectionist, but a little bit. You're like, I don't want to mess up.
Who's your favorite Christian artist? And they are not just one. Name me a few that you liked. Who do you like to listen to right now?
I am a gospel addict. Well, I mean, gospel is obviously my favorite, but like I like to listen to Maverick City Music. Love them.
Basic, but go ahead.
Oh my
No, I'm
gosh,
just playing. I love them too.
Bethel, just kidding. Who else? Who else do we listen to?
You like really old gospel
Yeah, I
music,
could go
kinda?
super old
What's
with
old for you guys?
gospel.
Like old
She was
for
like
the 70s?
2000.
I mean, like the Clark sisters. I've been listening to
Yes,
them.
she listens to them every day.
I don't know if you would consider them like old
That's pretty old.
gospel.
That's pretty old.
Okay, like them. Like I enjoy that kind of like funky kind of gospel, or even choirs. Like I love choirs. Yeah.
What about you, Hannah?
Yeah, I like Maverick City Music too. I don't know, it's kind of hard
I bet
for
you
me.
like Starbucks and Uggs too, huh?
No, okay. It's just hard to
I'm just
find.
playing.
It's hard to find like good Christian music for me, because I like gospel, but I can't listen to it all day.
Yeah.
Do you feel like with like some of that, especially the old gospel music, some of like that's like my like the old stuff from like 70s and 80s. I'm like, that's my stuff. You know what I mean? But do you feel like, because there's some stuff from that era where it's almost like Broadway theater-ish when you listen to it? You know, do you ever feel like some of it's like they have like a solo, the drum solo going on for like 20 minutes, and then like the person who's leading the choir and singing, they're just like all over the place, and you're like, this is amazing. But it's kind of like
But it's
after
much.
20
Too showy.
minutes of it,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah,
this is a
it's
show.
very
Yeah.
repetitive sometimes.
If you had to pick between one, you choose one over the other, that old school, like you got like a lead singer and like this giant choir behind them, or something more like contemporary and modern, like Maverick City. One has to go. One has to go.
Those are
That's hard.
yeah.
I know.
That
That's why I'm
honestly.
asking. That's why I'm asking the question, guys.
I think because both of them like hit me different. Like I
Yeah.
could be in a mood where like, oh, I want to feel, like excited or something. Then I can feel that old gospel music. But if I'm like, I just want to, be in the presence of the Lord, then I'll listen to Maverick City. So, that's super hard.
One has to go. It's just for the podcast.
Oh my
This
gosh.
isn't real life, Naya.
Go, Hannah. One has to
What
go.
would you do?
I think I would do more of the newer music, like
Yeah.
the more recent music, like Maverick City Music.
That stays.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm the opposite. Like, I'd rather keep the other one.
Who's your favorite singer in the family?
In the family.
I'm gonna put myself out of it because I'm right here with you guys.
In the family.
I don't know.
She's like none.
Who?
Wow.
I really like Auntie Joe's voice. I mean, I do. I think Auntie
That would be Christy. But go ahead.
Oh yeah,
For
yeah.
other people.
Sorry. I think she has a very versatile voice. I can't say my mom because that's just like, oh, that's my mom. I love her voice. No, but yeah, I'll say Auntie Joe.
What about you, Hannah?
I was gonna say my mom. I do like her voice. It's like really strong, and I
Raspy, like if she has a sore throat.
like that. No.
Oh, okay.
Your mom has like a hybrid voice of like it sounds like old school, but also like modern at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When your mom and your dad got married, I don't remember. I was like a little boy, but I remember she sang to your dad. I was like,
Really?
yeah, she did. She sang to your dad. And then I remember when I was there, we were on the balcony, the top of the balcony.
Yeah,
at
that's
that
when your
Modesto
dad was
church.
rocking like this mustache.
Ew, the little caterpillar.
Oh my God. We saw
Gross.
pictures.
He got married with that thing.
But I remember your mom was singing. I was a little boy, and I had a lump in my throat, and I didn't know why. I was like, "What's going on?" I got this lump in my throat.
So let's go back to that. So, do you think your dad definitely batted out of his league? You know what that means, right?
Yes, I know what that means.
Right? You would say so, right?
No.
No. Really?
Yeah.
I think they're like,
They're
they're a
perfect for
good
each
match for
other.
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. One's like not funny, and the other one is really funny. Like your mom's really funny, and your dad's not.
It depends.
What are some ways your dad makes you guys laugh?
He's just a fun guy sometimes.
Yeah.
It just depends.
Hannah.
He is.
Church. We're in church.
Oh my God.
I know
No,
we're doing
he
a
is.
podcast, but this is the church too.
I think
No, I'm being
he's
honest.
unintentionally funny. Like, we may think something's
Like
funny,
clumsy
and he's
funny,
being clumsy, like
Yeah.
goofy. No, but I think like he'll be serious about something and we'll laugh about it.
Yeah.
And
And then he ends up laughing too.
So
But-
he's.
What's your mom's sense of humor like?
Your mom's really funny.
She is.
Your mom is hecka
she's,
funny.
yeah, she's pretty funny.
She's kind of
I
cheesy
guess.
sometimes.
Yeah, she's pretty cheesy, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
She's getting to that cheesy stage, like, oh my
That's
gosh,
where
Mom.
you get it from, I think. But
Whatever.
So you guys are starting to become really good sisters now. I see.
Yes.
It's like you guys actually like each other
They
now.
should write a book about our adventure together.
Mm.
when we were younger, we didn't like each other.
Honestly, we
Like,
would
I don't
fight.
It's the age. It's the age.
It is.
And finally, when the younger one matures,
I don't think that's.
then it's like, okay, she's not as bad. She's not as
No.
bad. But we got like 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes to go. Do you guys know that you come from a... Do you guys recognize you come from a musical family? Or do you just think it's just your mother? And
No. I
started off with who then?
Grandma?
Grandma Elsie.
Yeah.
No,
Grandpa Sam?
Grandpa Sam. Yeah, Grandpa Sam.
Oh. Same person, actually. No, yeah, Grandpa Sam, right?
Grandpa
Because
Sam.
then all his kids,
Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam, Grandma,
Your grandmother, she plays something.
she plays piano. I think piano is one of the most
Yeah.
like played instruments in our family.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would love to play piano. None of us, surprisingly, play an instrument.
I think it's because you're lazy, both of you guys. Would you say
No.
that's...
My
The-
voice is my instrument. That's what I have to focus on.
No, you guys are lazy.
One of them.
They're lazy. Because I know they can pick it up, but they choose not to. I gave somebody a really nice guitar, and I'm going to practice, and I'm going to do it. How many songs do you know how to play?
One. But I've been working on that song for a long time. That's why.
No, right.
I just want to get it right.
Okay, so, Devin, before we go, do you have any shout-outs that you'd like to...
Shout out to my mom. Happy birthday. Oh, I also want to shout out to my YouTube channel.
You have a YouTube channel for real?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say.
She's like one of the girls that are like Emma and Mila that carry it around.
Oh.
And they're like, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe. So, do you guys love your church?
I love
Yes,
it.
we love
Oh, and shout out to New Life.
Oh,
Can't forget about them.
Only, yeah. But if you didn't go there, you'd probably go to the Good Life, right?
Probably.
Yeah. Let's just keep it that way. So, you guys really like your church a lot?
I
We
love our
do.
church. I really do.
Mm-hmm. It's you guys are really in a great spot as far as it's an awesome church. I love going to the church when you guys have special services, and so you guys are pretty much spoiled, seriously, from being able to grow up there and to call New Life your home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with your dad's an okay kind of guy, your mom, she's okay. And so you've actually grown up in an awesome church, a great family, which would make you guys what? Pretty blessed, right? For your guys' age.
Honestly, yeah. We have
So-
nothing to complain about when it comes to,
How we grew up.
how we grew up, especially in church.
Yeah. So, well, you got anything else, Devin?
Nah, I got nothing else. This is good. If
You
they
know-
got nothing else and we got nothing else,
So when's the album coming out?
Oh, I can't reveal that yet.
So would you duet with Hannah, or would you like solo album?
I would do it with Hannah. I would do it with Hannah.
What
yeah.
about you, Hannah? Are you like, nah, I'm good by myself?
she's like, I'll be featured if she pays me. If there's something back, I'll do a feature.
I would do both, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I could see you with either like a banjo playing and singing.
No, Hannah's rap.
ukulele?
She'd probably be a solo rap artist.
Hey, what is that when they get another rapper to be in the video?
Like the feature, the cameo.
Yeah, he cameo.
I would feature you.
So, well, okay, ladies, it was great having you. Like I said, you're our youngest guest so far. So,
Thank you for having us.
yeah,
Thank you.
I hope you guys had a good time. You have a good time?
Yes.
Be nervous? You still nervous, or you're fine
I'm
now?
less nervous.
Yeah,
now.
definitely less nervous.
Okay. So, do you have a boyfriend?
The cliffhanger's going.
It's not going.
No. So when are you allowed to have one?
I don't know. I
We're
mean,
like 30.
Yeah.
I
that's a
doubt
good
when I
age.
turn 18, like, even though I'm technically a legal adult and I can make my own decisions, they probably still wouldn't let me.
Yeah, I would just wait till you're about 25.
Yeah.
And then get married
obviously.
around 30. That's a good age, 30 marriage.
That's really old.
Is
That's
it?
what you think. That's what you
It's
think,
not.
and then you're
Is
gonna
it?
be
I got married at 29,
Oh, okay. I mean, okay, 30's not
you're
old.
gonna be in that range, 25 to 30-ish.
especially now. Because by the time you're done with school, you're about 20. Well, how far do you want to go with school?
I don't know.
Master's, doctorate?
I don't think I'm doctorate material.
Okay, so then you'll be done about 25.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, I'll be going in college 17.
oh, that's right.
So I'll be done by like 21.
No, I don't know about that. So, I'm just joking. You guys shouldn't have a boyfriend until you're at least about 25,
Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you guys are need to concentrate on your music, right? Okay, on that album you guys are gonna come out with. But all right, well, nice to have you guys here. I'll talk to you guys later.
Make sure you guys, if you're listening, follow or subscribe wherever you're at.
She's gonna
really
put up
help us out a lot.
Yeah.
We'll have Nyah and Hannah's channels linked in the description. And we will see you guys next time.